So I'm giving this a shot. I kind of want to document my build process and see how things go. I'm currently on the way to the machine shop, Max Power Automotive. It is in Crestwood, Illinois. I used Matt over there on my last build, and he did a phenomenal job. And I trust him. So I'm willing to make the 2-hour drive over there. I have Aspen with me right now, and I have cylinder head, the block, snacks, pistons, valves, turbo manifold, and the crank is back there as well. So yeah, let's get this machine up and we'll be ready to go. I look forward to bringing you guys along on the process. It's not really something I do, not really something that I'm used to doing. I don't really like talking on the camera, but honestly, I wish I had documentation of pretty much my first iteration of this build, and I didn't, because I didn't take the chance. So I'm excited to bring you guys along on this process. All right, just got back from the machine shop a little bit ago. I'm trying to clean up some of my stuff that was just nasty after the 5 years of owning it. This cleaned up really well. We have oil filter housing sprayed off, rinsed out the best I could. I'll be running a new oil cooler, so any bit of particulate that was in the old one will not be in the new engine. It's definitely something I don't want to risk. And machine shop is going to be, it's a busy season, so it's going to be around 2 weeks. So I'm hoping I can make the event in May, but we'll see. All right, so since it's going to be about 2 weeks at the machine shop, I think what I'm going to have to do is, in order to make the first event May 3rd to 4th, I might have to put my spare block and head into the engine bay. That way I can get the downpipe, intercooler, and exhaust all fabricated, because I'm cutting it close. You know, 2 weeks at the machine shop, and which it's busy season. I kind of expected that, but at the same time, I had my hopes up that maybe it would get done in a week, and I was wrong. So I have the spare head right here. I have my spare block right there. I would have to throw on the oil pan, and so I'd have to throw on the oil pan. Trans is back there. Just to get it mocked in, I'll put the turbo manifold on, and once I have pretty much everything in the car with the turbo and everything, I can send it to fabrication to get the downpipe, exhaust, and I would like to I have to change the intercooler on the cold side, because I'm keeping the intercooler in the same spot, and the hot side intercooler will be the same, so I don't have to touch that. And then it's a different manifold, so I'll have to do 2 wastegate dumps or screamer pipes going down. And I'm not really sure how long that's going to take, but I want to play it safe and send this off to the fabricator as soon as I can to get all that done, because he can get that done while I'm building the engine and the engine is being machined. So that would be the smart way to do it, but it's more work because I have to pretty much put everything in the engine bay. I have to put the whole front clip on so he knows where to where the cold side intercooler pipe goes, and then I'll have to take it all apart, and yeah, not ideal. Okay, so we have the cylinder head bolted to the mock block, and obviously that's a mock cylinder head. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 head studs. That's not going anywhere. And then we are going to put the transmission on it and put it in there, just so we can get the turbo manifold over there on. Just to give you guys a better look at what turbo and manifold I'll be running. I got both of these from 5150 Autosport. I'll be running the Precision 6266 with a divided housing, and the 5150 Autosport turbo manifold. True twin scroll manifold. It utilizes 2 tile 38mm wastegates, and I just want to make sure that I can fit 3.5 inch piping between the manifold and the frame rail of the car. So I got a lot done off camera. That's better. I got a lot done off camera. I put the mock-up engine in. It's just a spare M50 block and an M52 head that I had laying around. Just so I can get the downpipe and exhaust made. Luckily, this intercooler piping that I had running my old exhaust manifold, or my turbo manifold and turbo, fit. It's a little... No, that'll ride. That's beautiful. It's tight, but it works. So yeah, I have the turbo manifold in on the spare engine, and this is how I'm going to take it to fabrication. I'm having my buddy Francisco fabricate the exhaust. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the intake, because right now the headlight sits right here, and I can't really put a big filter on this. Before I ran this down to about right here with a big filter and it was fine, but I can't do it with the angle of this turbo. So I got to figure out a solution for that, and then I'll be mounting my Mac valve. I'm thinking possibly right here, somewhere up here. I don't want it to get too hot, but obviously I don't have a lot of, space right here to mount it. Possibly over here. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'll probably pick up the camera again next time I have that mounted and kind of show you guys where I mounted it. But yeah, everything's looking good. I have everything. This is just laying on here right now. I have everything kind of loosely bolted on, and yeah, hopefully we're gonna see if I can get away with 3.5 inch pipe. I would really like a 3.5 inch downpipe and full exhaust, but the 3.5 inch pipe fits right here, but the V-band does not. So I think I might have to do like a slip joint down there, which will save me some ground clearance, but we'll see. Yeah, it's progress now. So if anybody was curious about my build for the last 5 seasons, I've been running CP pistons, Eagle rods, and HD wrist pins. I had ARP 2000s head studs, and just normal. I thought these were S50 cams, but apparently they're not, because the lift is different. I can't remember what variation of the cams they are, but they were not S50. And I was running a non-Vanos head with Vanos on it. It was retrofitted, ground down a little bit. Stock non-Vanos springs. Alright, so GoPro died. I just got all the freeze plugs in. Now I'm going to measure the pistons and see about the piston to wall clearance. Alright, so I got my head mated to the block. I installed the SuperTech dual valve springs with titanium retainers. I'm shooting this on my phone right now because my GoPro SD card is full. I got the ARP 625 custom age head studs in, and I'm about to do the torque. Also, I have the cut ring head gasket in there, 87 millimeter, and we're about to mate it. Alright, we have the lifters installed, and the head is now torqued down. ARP 625 head studs are torqued. SuperTech dual valve springs are looking good. Titanium retainers. So I'm going to put the intake on first, and then we'll go from there. Well, I kind of sucked at filming this whole process, but it runs and it is ready for the dyno tomorrow. Yeah, kind of nervous, but we'll see what happens. Well, a lot has happened since I picked up the camera. I need to get a lot better at actually filming stuff as I go. But yeah, the engine is back in. We had a little issue with the exhaust manifold leaking, but that's fixed. Yeah, here it is. I go to the dyno again on Tuesday. Today is Sunday, and hopefully everything goes well. Last time we were there, the VVT solenoid was not working. It was open, so with no Vanos, it made around like 630 wheel horsepower. But we didn't want to turn it up anymore because it we would have to redo the map. So yeah, that's kind of the update. Got everything. I started it up last night, made sure everything was good, and no more exhaust leak, which is good. That was kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, now I'm going to boost leak test it quick and make sure that there are no boost leaks. It's not leaking any oil. So yeah, but I kind of want to give you the rundown of this because I didn't really talk about it. This is like a 3.1 liter Frankenstein M52 basically. So it has an M52 block, it has an S52 crank, 86.5 millimeter bore pistons in it, and the head is an M50 head, obviously Vanos, with SuperTech valves, valve springs, cat cams, 288, 266. I think I like the cams. I'm not 100% sure yet without Vanos working. That's another thing too. I don't know if it's, the valves shouldn't hit the pistons, but I didn't clay it with the Vanos activated. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out the fun way. Yeah, that's it. Also, shout out to my boy Francisco at Alvarez Fabrication because he knocked this out of the park. Dude, look at this downpipe. I mean, if I had the choice, I wouldn't have done the pie cuts, but since it's just such a tight radius, and that's all I gave him was straight tubing, and he made it work. But this is 3.5, so the expander is right there. But it goes down into a slip joint. I don't know if you can see it down there, but it goes down into a slip joint, and then it has a V-band from stainless to aluminum. So the rest of the exhaust is aluminum. Also, custom catch can is gangster. Looks really good. But let's see. I think that got blurry. There we go. Alright. So it goes to aluminum right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, there's a turn down. Well, here she is. It's dirty. Also, shout out to 5150 for all the support, especially with all the engine components. I honestly could not have built this thing without them. Well, I could, but it wouldn't be this rowdy.